Two Jack Bros. Two Jack Bros.
All right, welcome back to Two Jack Bros. Wait, is that what I always say? Oh, yeah, it is. Welcome back to Two Jack Bros. And if it's your first time, welcome to you as well. And thank you for giving us a shot. I am Sidney. I am sitting next to Ansley.
Hello.
And today our guest is none other than the Colum Tyrrell.
Hi.
What is that? Did I say that right? Did I say both of those names right?
Colum Tyrrell.
Colum Tyrrell?
Yeah, that's close enough.
Yeah.
But you said Tyrell, whatever. It's all.
I don't know if I said Tyrell. I think I might have said Tyrell.
Tyrell, did you?
Yeah.
Well, that's good. All right.
That's closer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's closer.
Tyrrell.
Yeah. And what is your podcast called?
The Colum Tyrrell podcast. It'd be funny if it was called the Colum Tyrell podcast. But my name is pronounced Tyrrell. But you can say it any way you want. I don't care that much.
Yeah, you can also see Colum with Mike Rainey and Tim Butterly touring all across the country with the Bad Meat Tour.
The Bad Meat Tour.
They're all over the place.
Going everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah, we're coming up in Texas, Detroit, Cleveland, Indianapolis, North Carolina. And we're adding more every day.
Hell yeah. And I'll have a link for that down in the description so you can check that out. Colum,
Hey.
do you know what we do on this podcast?
No, haven't a clue.
Awesome.
Didn't do any research at all.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
That's almost.
Do we arm wrestle?
It's fun.
What is it?
Yeah.
What's going on?
So basically the premise of this podcast is to prove that you can have a dark sense of humor and still reach a higher consciousness, aka enlightenment.
Okay, great.
So what we do, Ansley and I take our guest, who is you today, through the process of enlightenment so that the watchers and Ansley and me can laugh ourselves to a higher consciousness through your hard work.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
You okay with that?
Yeah, I'll follow your lead.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yes.
Let's do it.
So everybody gets the same questions basically on the podcast.
All right.
And Ansley, take it away.
All right. So, Colum, what?
You don't even want, you didn't say his name. You're
I
worried about, you're
yeah,
scared
yeah.
to say his name.
I know. And I was like,
Yeah.
we're going to have to
Just
get over
Give
this.
it a practice real quick.
Wait, can I say it one more time?
No, just go off memory.
Yeah.
Come on, just guess.
Colum Tyrrell.
Yeah.
Say it real fast.
But you mumbled real.
Yeah,
Colum
yeah.
Tyrrell.
just the first name. Rock the first name.
Colum.
Column. Yeah, like a
Column.
like a pillar. A
Yeah.
column. Yeah.
Okay.
You got
Colum, what situation or event did you learn the most information from?
it. Oh my god. I'd have no idea. What situation did I learn the most from?
Or experience, or however you like to categorize events in your life.
I should have researched this podcast. If everyone gets the same questions, I could have just said, "What was the best answer so far?
Yeah.
What's a good answer to maybe spark my memory?" Because that's a lot.
Oh, that's hard to say. I mean, because
Yeah.
everybody's situation is like a personal event in their life.
Okay.
People lost loved ones. People
No, I've never lost any.
went to
Moved in with people.
Yeah.
People
went to college, started
college,
comedy.
moved out of home.
I guess I could say moving to America. I've learned a lot, but that was 2014. So what's that? 7 years ago?
Yeah, that
Eight
can still
years
that can
ago?
still be the
Yeah. Okay. I'd
It
say
doesn't have to be this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't like one moment of just. You know.
No moment of clarity. It was just like
Yeah, I just woke up with a man in my bed. I was just like, what the hell? Yeah, I'd say moving to America is pretty an experience. You know, I'd imagine moving anywhere takes a lot, but moving away from to a different continent is a big one, especially when you don't know anyone there. And then America and New York in particular, so like fucking high octane.
yeah.
That it's like you kind of just learn to handle shit.
I know people are probably guessing where you're from based on your accent, but he
Yeah.
is from Jamaica.
That is
Clearly.
it, yeah, man.
Clearly a Korean
Tyrrell,
Jamaican.
obviously.
Yeah, but you moved from Ireland.
I moved from Dublin, Ireland. Yeah.
What made you move here?
Well, I was definitely going to leave Ireland. That was a fact. And I was doing comedy. I started comedy in Ireland, and I always felt guilty because I was from Dublin, and everyone from the rest of the country would have to move to Dublin. Like the way it works in pretty much anywhere. You got to move to the city. But I was already from the city, so I always felt like guilty, like they were able to outwork me or out-sacrifice me. So that was one part of me. And also Ireland stinks, it sucks. So I was like, I'm leaving. As soon as I finish college, I'm leaving. And I could have went to England, but because I graduated college, they give you like a year visa. America allows in Europeans that have a college education for a year to come live here. And then, so I figured I might as well try America while I had the opportunity with that visa. And I'd been to New York when I was like 19 and I loved it. So
Okay.
I just said, fuck it, let's do it. Why not? And then 1 year, I was like, I'll stay for another year. And then I just stayed for another year. And then here I am.
So what about that visa? Is that visa renewed? Can we fuck you up and
No,
like,
you
take
can't.
you in?
Mm-hmm. You can't fuck me up. No,
No?
I don't think so. I think I could. I'm not like, I don't have a passport.
Yeah.
I'm not a citizen, but I am a permanent resident. So my next step, which I think is very soon, to get like the full permanent citizenship.
Yeah.
But I think, so maybe I could get extradited if I did a crime. But like, I'm not here illegal or anything. But if I did a crime, I think I could get extradited. Whereas if I get the passport, I think if I do a crime, I just go to prison here. And I'd much rather go to prison in Ireland than here.
Yeah.
Lot less ass sex.
They don't get down like that over
They
there.
do not get down like that. No, I have heard. Some
How do you show dominance over other men in prison then?
You get in touch with your feelings. You do poetry and shit like that. We hold hands. That's,
that's
how you
pretty-
that's how you dominate.
So you guys go actually gay.
Yeah. We kiss.
Yeah.
There's a lot of kissing going on.
You think we can set them up on a hate crime?
Yeah.
See what happens?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, set me up.
All right. So, how would you then distill the information that you got from that experience of moving from Ireland to America? Actually, I'm kind of curious what some of what's your first your immediate experiences coming to America, knowing that you were coming here to live.
I guess it's almost overwhelming at the time. You don't have much time to think about it because it's like your whole life. And then I came in I didn't have a whole lot of money. I had about $1,800, maybe $2,000, maybe, which was like which isn't nothing. But when you're brand new with nothing, it's not a lot.
Yeah.
And I didn't know anyone. I ended up crashing on my friend's couch. She was like, I barely even knew it, but she was just like in passing was like, oh, if you're over here and you need a place to crash when you find your feet, you can stay. And then I was like, oh, I'm coming over on Friday. This is like, this is like on
She's
Monday.
like, I didn't mean it.
Yeah, she didn't mean it. She didn't actually mean it at all. But she had no choice but to be like, okay. And then I stayed on her couch for like 5 days, and she was like, you got to leave. You got to leave. You got to leave tomorrow. And I was like, I don't care where you got to go, but you can't be staying here any longer. And I was like, fine.
Yeah, you were like cock blocking her.
Yeah, I was absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, poor girl, but she was nice enough to help me out.
Well, that'll teach her not to say things she doesn't mean.
Yeah.
Right? You can't go around like stealing valor for pleasantries and shit.
Yeah, but that's just you. Everyone knows that's what you say. Hey,
Yeah.
if you ever need a thing, hit me up. And then they hit you up. You go, what type of prick does that?
Yeah, you'll never hear me say that.
No. If you offer,
No.
you never offer.
You didn't even hear me when you came. I feel like I'm a pretty hospitable guy, but when you came to my house, you didn't hear me say make yourself at home.
Did you? Yeah.
No, I'm not gonna. No, don't make yourself. Do not act like you're at home here.
Okay, that's fair enough. That is fair. Yeah. I didn't notice. I just do it anyway. I'm not.
I mean, like
feet up,
if you're gonna do it anyway, that's on you because that's how I go in other people's homes.
Okay, so
Right? Yeah, I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not gonna tell you put your shoes back
that's
on.
great.
Right?
So you don't let people. You don't say make yourself at home to
No.
someone, but you will make yourself at home whether they say it or not.
Yeah, you got to crack the code yourself.
So if someone says make yourself at home, will you go open the fridge and just have a look around?
Oh, you do not want to give me that.
Would you?
Hell yeah.
You would?
Absolutely.
Oh, that's crazy.
You don't go in the fridge at your own home?
Yeah, but make yourself at home doesn't mean like fucking you live here now.
Oh, yes, the fuck it
It's
does.
just a courtesy thing.
No, it is not.
It's like bless you.
Nah.
I don't actually want you. I'm not blessing
I'm
you.
going into your bedroom. I'm seeing how your sheets feel.
Yeah, you're jerking off. You're fucking, yeah. Exactly.
And that's why I'm going to ask you guys to leave. I like my privacy at home.
Guys, can you keep it down? I didn't tell you guys to make yourself at home. I don't do that.
Seeing as this is my home now.
Yeah. It's getting pretty late, guys.
But yeah, so America was pretty overwhelming when you got here.
Yeah. New York, I don't know, because I've never lived anywhere else, and I've only visited the other cities. But New York is a very fast-paced, energetic place, you know? And it doesn't give you a lot of time to chill out. Or they're not very, I don't know what the word is, compassionate. They're not very compassionate to your shitty life.
Yeah.
Because everyone's life is shitty. So but it's good because it makes you tougher, I think. It makes you tougher because what happens is people are like after a couple of months, they're like, I'm really having a hard time. And you go, everyone's having a hard time, bitch. Come on, let's go. It's like today, there was a shooting today on the subway. Do you hear about that? I don't know if a terrorist. Some guy shot like 15 people on the subway today, and it was crazy. He had like these gas canisters and stuff. It was like everyone's worst nightmare. Like rush hour, 8 o'clock. They barely even made the news.
Yeah,
but that's like New York. So it's like, oh come on, someone gets shot beside you, and you're like, I'm gonna be fucking late now.
Was he all geared up? Did he have vests and shit on?
Yeah, he had apparently he had like
his terrorist fantasy.
He had a high-vis jacket, and then he had a fucking gas mask on or something.
What happened to see something, say something?
No, that was before.
We don't say anything anymore.
The masks. If someone had a gas mask before COVID, you'd be like, all right, something's up. Now he has a gas mask down. You look at this lunatic.
Yeah.
So I guess he started throwing these gas canisters and then started just shooting everyone. And there was videos of it. I don't know if anyone died, but I think there was a lot of injuries anyway. But it barely even got talked about. Usually it's like the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I guess it's like the problem is this, if it's not 9/11, it's like, it's not 9/11.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I actually have a contrasting question for you. So how is it different in Dublin? So you got the New York City, nobody's compassionate, everything's fast paced. How does that contrast from Dublin?
I reckon Dublin's just a more of a slow paced place, I'd imagine. Well, I don't know. See, it's difficult because I've never really moved abroad. I've never moved abroad anywhere else. Mm-hmm. But Dublin is more suburban life, you know? It's just like chilled out.
Yeah.
And back then, everyone could like afford their rent and stuff like that. So it was like, now rents are crazy in Dublin. Yeah. They're the same as like New York. Like everyone's paying half to 3/3 of their rent. Or, sorry, 2/3 of their rent. Yeah. On there. Just a living. So it's like difficult. Yeah, but New York's just like that fast paced place. And then of course, like, when you don't have your parents and friends and family and all to just back you up, there's like just makes you stronger, like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Just knowing that you're like, all right, well, if this goes bad, I'm fucked, you know?
Where'd you go once that girl was like, you gotta get out of here?
Some dump.
Yeah, like a hostel type.
I got it was in a house. And I got a room of a family house in Brownsville, which is one of the worst neighborhoods in New York. It said East Flatbush on the address, but it was Brownsville. Yeah. And it was one of those places where it was a long walk from the fucking train. It was like probably a 15-minute to 20-minute walk to the train. And at night, I had to go the long way home because I couldn't cut through some of the neighborhoods because it wasn't going to be safe for me. But
if you don't mind me asking, what ethnicity was the family you were staying with?
They're all black. It was a black neighborhood. I was like the first white guy. People would slow down their cars and look at me. That family had ever seen? Yeah. Like every time you came home, they were like, oh! Yeah. What up, white boy? Yeah, I remember the guy who owned the house. He was like putting me on the phone to his friends. He's like, they don't believe me. They don't believe there's a white guy. And it's like, you got a white guy? You got a white kid in your house? Dude. The guy who owned the house, he was fucking huge, 400 pounds. He looked like Patrice O'Neill. Yeah. He was a monster, dude. And it was the worst living situation in my life. There was mice, there was cockroaches, there was a bunch of kids, loads of kids. Some days there was lots of kids, some days there was no kids. I don't know where they went. and the TV was on and it blared and they would have these parties. The parties were fucking insane. There wasn't many people there, but they would like till all hours. It'd be 6 o'clock in the morning, and I had 2 jobs. I worked at a bar. I was a bar back at a bar, and I worked like nights and weekends, and then I worked as a construction laborer too. So I'd be like getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and they'd be just blasting music at 3 o'clock. Just fucking Nicki Minaj, that song, you know, my anaconda don't. That was
constant.
That was new when I moved here. That was the number one song at the chats, and they blasted it every night. I remember just like the mice. You just get used to mice waking you up, because I'd wake up and there was a mouse and I'd throw a shoe at it, and then after like a week, I was just like, fuck it, what am I doing? Catch the mice? I just got to learn to sleep through the mice.
Oh, man,
that sounds pretty.
How'd you learn where you couldn't walk and where you could walk?
They told me. They told like, this street is no good.
Yeah.
So then, and then I feel like you just kind of naturally go, I'm just going to stick to the main roads.
Just give him Biggie's first album. It's like whatever place he names that you recognize, stay the fuck away from those places.
Yeah. It's crazy that I was able to do it, because I couldn't do it now. I'd probably go home back to Ireland before it. But at the time, so I was young, naive, trying to work. Yeah. I think I was paying $450 a month for 1 bedroom, which was good. But that was, I'm sure I was paying for the entire rent of the house. I'm sure. I had one room, and then they all shared a room, and then there was like a living space or whatever. Yeah. Yeah, and then eventually I just left. I came home and they'd have all my mail open. I was like, why are you opening my mail? Because I was just brand new to the country, so I was getting all this Bank of America shit and stuff, and they were just opening. And they're like, oh, we thought it was for us. I was like, don't you read the names? And then I came home the next day, all the mail's up. I was like, what are you trying to do? What do you think? Someone's mailing me cash? What's going on? Yeah, it was chaos.
So let me ask you this question: after your experience of living with that family, do you believe Black Lives Matter?
I do believe that Black Lives Matter, but the problem, I don't think this family cared about their own lives.
Yeah.
They get the father. This diet was so bad. It's like, your life matters, dude, but you're not helping us here.
And there was a mom in there too.
There was a mom in there too.
Yeah.
There was a bunch of kids, and the
every
kids,
other weekend they went with their real dads.
and I tell you this much: the kids, first of all, it's hard to differentiate between toddlers at the best of times, but when they all had cornrows, and they'd be just running around, and I could never tell which was which, and then they had the goofiest names in the world to me. Like, I'd never heard these noises before.
Like Tyrrell.
It was Tyrrell, Colum. Yeah. I used to have a notes app with the names.
Yeah.
But then I couldn't tell who was who. But it was like, it's not easy. But it was like the silliest. Because first of all, Italian names and Polish names are all goofy to me too. So let alone coming over here and then hearing these, like it was kind of like stereotypical, like Viniqua and all this type of stuff. And I had
like Polish Italian, like a mix of Polish and
it
Italian.
was all sorts of silly, stupid names. Yeah. So then I just had to just like, hi. I couldn't name. Yeah.
I have a cousin named Indian Asia.
Indian Asia?
The word India, the letter N, the word Asia smashed together.
India and Asia.
Well, it's Indian Asia.
Like In-N-Out Burger.
India
no,
and
but
Asia. No hyphens.
No,
the N plays.
You don't want to have a hyphen in your name. That's crazy. But,
I got a couple hyphenated cousins too. Got some hyphenated cousins too. It's all right.
Stop and search.
Yeah. So, how would you distill then the information, like what you learned throughout that whole experience, coming from Dublin, moving to New York, and everything all together?
Just shut up. Just shut up complaining. Keep moving. That's it.
Stop snitching. No snitching.
Yeah. Snitches get stitches. That's it. I don't know. Just all I'd learned from the last few years is like just too many people complaining. They're always just crying about shit. Just go out and fucking get over it. That's my thing. Mental health is not real.
Man, from your mouth to God's ears. I don't even know. I wasn't even trying to get into that shit, but you brought it up. Since you brought it up, I have a pamphlet I need you to read.
I'm just sick of Americans and my girlfriend's a very nice woman. She's American. She has like the opposite life of like she was up here. She has a nice upbringing and all this stuff, but she's always fucking complaining about like just like stuff that I can't even wrap my head around because I'm barely scraping rent together while I'm pursuing a fucking career in entertainment, which is the dumbest thing anyone's ever fucking done. Don't do that. That's crazy. Don't follow your dreams. Whatever you do. That's another one.
Yeah.
Don't follow your dreams. But then just to hear them, like people just complain, I'm just like, get the fuck over it.
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely fair. And so what we do here now is this is this is the path to enlightenment. We're going to open up your chakras from the bottom chakra up. You signed up for
Can I
this.
have a beer?
You signed up.
Can I get a drink first?
You might need one because the first chakra is located in the butthole. Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
We didn't put it there. That's just where it always was.
There's graffiti in there. You go in, there's a fucking Tommy was here.
All right. So, Ansley, open up those chakras.
So, Colum, how did you learn to overcome fear?
By tackling it head on, I would imagine. Or don't be afraid of failure, I guess. Like, what am I scared of? That's a better question. Like, what do I fear? I would say, if you fear something, try tackle it head on. Don't be afraid of, like, mistakes, I guess. I like when people do things and they fail rather than people who don't do anything. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. I guess, what am I scared of? I don't know if I've even learned how to do that, though. Mm-hmm. How did I learn how to overcome fears? I don't know. Can
you remember a time in your life when you were the most scared? Even through childhood, if that helps.
Yeah, I used to. I don't know. When I used to get in trouble, I guess I used to be scared of stuff like that. I guess when there's loads of certain times when you thought someone was going to beat me up, like bigger people would beat me up. That's kind of scary. I don't know about that anymore. Is that my phone?
No, that's
someone.
how professional. That's Ansley's phone.
Someone's busy.
Yeah. But
I'm having a moment.
Yeah. Seriously.
Talking about my bullies.
Yeah. So did you have a lot of bullies, or did you create bullies?
No. Did I create bullies?
Yeah, because I would say I created bullies.
Because you're a prick and they fucking picked on you?
I mean, I wouldn't call myself a prick, but
A
I think
nerd?
they would.
They thought you were a prick?
Yeah, I mean, people would like I was categorized as a nerd, but I was a nerd that wouldn't shut the fuck up.
Okay,
You
yeah.
know?
So
because I could kind of I had a little hidden secret that I could physically handle myself.
Okay.
That people didn't really know
Yeah.
unless they fucked around and found out.
wow.
You know,
I
so
wish I was that guy.
I would just say whatever I want. But I mean, a lot of times though, I was trying to keep that under wraps. So I would try to find a way to like get around this bully, but then I'd catch him, just me and him, and then fight him then. Which is
fight him.
I didn't like, now that I'm an adult, I'm like, that is fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
Like some little loudmouth dude coming up to you, just the two of you, like, what's up now? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like you're the bully in this situation.
I mean, I don't like to think of it that way.
I've beaten the shit out of all these bullies all day. This little bully came in. I fucking stuffed him in a locker.
Oh, never little. I would never fight somebody my size. Are you kidding me? I wouldn't waste
Yeah.
my skills on somebody my size.
Yeah, but then they're not even a bully then if you were able to hold your own. They're just people you didn't like. A bully is someone who like makes your life hell. You're like a loudmouth to them. You were beating them up. You don't. It doesn't sound like they were bullies at all.
I was also too happy to have my day ruined. I was a wired for happiness kid. I was obnoxious.
You were, yeah. Okay.
Pretty obnoxious. I'm still to this day, but I kind of keep it under wraps.
Yeah.
I'm just a pretty happy guy.
Good.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Nice.
So, but you had bullies.
I guess, yeah. There was always just kids that were bigger than you that would smack you and stuff like that. But I've never looked back on anything like, oh, that bully. I just remember kids who were bigger than me and would like steal my cigarettes and shit. That's kind of, I don't remember. I just remember not having a choice but to give people my cigarettes sometimes.
Yeah.
When you're 15 and they're 17 and they're also gigantic, they don't fuck you up.
There's like the bigger fish, smaller fish of like badass kids.
Yeah.
Like, cause at least in America, the cool kids smoked cigarettes.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then you're like that. You're out there. Like, if I would have seen you smoking cigarettes, I'd been like, man, he's so fucking cool.
Yeah.
And then like somebody comes over and like
and then
smacks you and takes your cigarette.
Then I'm standing beside you, smokeless.
Yeah. It's like,
yeah.
all right, he's like me now. He's not cool anymore. You know. It's but that's kind of.
Yeah, and then I'd be like, I'm fucking stuck with the nerds, and then you'd beat me up. You hit me with a spinning elbow to the back of the head.
Never.
No.
I mean, not unless you know.
So, but what was the original question? How do I tackle fear?
How do you tackle fear? What are you out there doing?
No, that's not what the first question was. It was like, how have I overcome?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you'll ever overcome fear. You know, I'd imagine. I can only imagine if I ever have kids. I imagine that's like a whole different world of fear, because then it's like almost, there's only so much you can do. There's so much fucking stuff in the world, like stuff that hurts you can get over it. I imagine when things hurt other people, like I don't really cry too often, but if someone I love or care about, if they're sad and crying, that normally gets me going. You know what I mean? So I'd imagine that to be the same with like other forms of pain. So that's what I'd be fearful of. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes
Right
sense.
now I've got nothing.
No, well,
Pull-out game is strong, baby.
No. This is great. No,
Yeah.
I'm very curious though about, like, do you have a particular bully instance that comes to mind the most? Like when you brought that up, like, was there one that sticks out the most? Like
Of a bully?
yeah.
Not really. It's just a few times when, especially if you were in a situation where there was a gang of kids and they would like corner you somewhere on the street, and then they'd like, you'd be always like, leave me alone. Like you couldn't do anything about it, but they're just like, yo, fucking beat him up. I'm like, no, don't beat me up. That kind of stuff. But that happens. I was never that guy. I'm sure there was people in high school that probably thought I bullied them. Because again, obviously, grown up to be a comedian, that there's an element of just being a cheeky fuck.
When you said like
disruptive
you
and
knew
crap.
you were always going to leave Dublin, was that just like the hometown thing? Like I'm going to go somewhere else. Like this isn't.
Yeah, kind of. I don't know if I always knew it, but there was probably once I got to a certain age, maybe in my teenage years, I was like, I gotta get the fuck out of here.
That was her disguised way of asking if you were chased out of Dublin.
Was I chased?
Yeah.
Yeah, they decided pedophilia was no good anymore. So I had to leave. Me and my priests all have to go. I don't know. Irish people, for some reason, have this. It's distilled in our culture to get the fuck out of there. There's something. Whatever happens with Irish people, we just leave. Like we're probably the most emigrated country, nearly.
Yeah.
Voluntarily.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I'd imagine, because my brother, he left. He's in Australia.
Oh, wow.
And then my sister, she left for the longest time. She lived in the Caribbean or the Caribbean, whatever you say. And she's back now that she's like in her 40s. But like everyone just leaves. And I think that's probably from my family. My parents are very like not strict, but they were definitely instilled independence, you know. So I'd imagine that's why we were able to get the fuck out of there. Mm-hmm. We like none of us ever for a second were just like, oh no, I don't want to leave my family. We were like, yo, let's get the fuck out of here. And I'm sure we'll survive.
All right, well, we can consider that a fear chakra unlocked.
Yes.
All right. I'm going to get more information about these bullies that I know Colum.
Please,
I'm gonna be
dude.
cornering
There was
him
a
in
time,
bars and stuff when he gets a little liquor in him.
I was thinking about today, dude. There was a scary moment in New York because of the shooting that happened today. Mm-hmm. There was I saw someone posted something about how the NYPD fucked up because the guy got away, because they could have had an opportunity to shut down the trains and keep everyone confined, but they kept the trains open or something like that. But that's like the worst thing you could ever do is leave a bunch of people trapped in a train with a shooter. That's like almost going, well, he's gonna kill you all now.
Yeah,
you're fucked. Because I was on the subway one time and a guy, we pulled out a gun. He was fighting with his girlfriend or something like that, and then she was like, he has a gun, and then the two of them were like wrestling. But New York's crazy because it's like you're kind of all just sort of waiting for someone to go and do something, and then she hits the fucking the panic button, not the panic button, but the fire thing, whatever, and the train pulled up at the next station, but it wouldn't open. Whatever way their safety thing is,
it shuts it.
Yeah, it just shuts it. So then the guy's gun fell on the ground, and everyone was just like, what the fuck? And I'm just like pretending to listen to Tim Dillon's podcast. Like, fucking, I don't know how to get involved. I'm not going to go try to disarm some guy with his gun. But for that, I just remember that moment going, this is fucked. And we're all just like, why isn't the train opening? And it wasn't. And then there was a guy going, someone hit an emergency thing, so we're going to be stuck here for a few minutes. I was like, let us off. This guy could have been shooting us up.
Yeah, he's all casual up front.
Yeah.
The guy's like, there's another one of these guys. Someone pushed a button. We don't have to send and inspect this. And then it felt like half an hour. I don't know how long we were there for. It could have been a minute, but it was tough. And you're like, is someone going to start shooting someone? And then as soon as it opened, the two of them ran out. But they were wrestling. They were tussling.
They ran out together.
They left. Yeah.
Held hands and walked away.
That was a tough one. I remember just because it reminded me today when I saw that. I was like, oof. Yeah. If that gun started going off, I don't know what you'd do.
That's pretty wild. That's definitely a fear chakra unlock now.
Yeah.
That's some good fearful stuff.
Yeah.
It had me on the edge of my seat.
Yeah.
Ansley, keep it moving.
So, Colum, this chakra is a segment we like to call My Bad. Okay. So it's a chance for you to apologize to a person, place, or thing in order to set your karma back to neutral.
All right, we just got done doing Colum's Patreon episode, and boy, was it a good time. Colum, did you have fun doing the Patreon?
The most fun I've ever had.
He ain't lying.
I've never told a lie in my life.
Yeah.
$1 gets you all of our exclusive content. You get the other podcast that Colum did where we unlocked his dark chakras, his shadow self, and you also get everybody else's, including Ansley's fight commentary analysis and whatever stand-up comedy stuff we put up there. That's $1, gets you all of our exclusive content. And now we're going to get back into the podcast and find out who or what Colum has to apologize to.
Oh my God. I have to apologize to a person or place or a thing. I'm good. I don't think I need to do that. I don't need to apologize to anyone.
No?
Probably. I don't. Maybe if one of the kids from high school that I might have bullied at some point. I'm sorry I did that. I was just trying to have fun. Now that I realize the world is full of pussies, now that I've grown up to realize that not everyone is just having fun, I'm sorry I said you had a fat head or whatever.
Is that something that did dawn on you at a point? Like the kids that would, I guess I would say when I was younger, I would consider them overreacting for the words that I was saying. But now that I'm older, it's like, oh no, they were actually fucking pussies.
Yeah, I'm sorry that I was making fun of pussies.
Yeah.
But you're making fun of everyone. And then you start to realize, there's a couple of those kids that I probably shouldn't have been making fun of. But even now, still to this day, I'm apologizing all the time to other comedians for making fun of them. You know, I thought you'd get rid of it because it's high school kids. And then you get to this world where I'm hanging around with professional comedians. And then I have to deal with phone calls.
Yes.
Where it's just like, I'm so sorry that I said your ears were big. We were joking. It's like, we were joking. And they're like, it's well, it didn't sound like you were joking. I was like, of course we were joking. We're on a fucking comedy podcast.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That embarrasses me.
Does that happen often?
It happens. It's happened to me a few times. It's happened to loads of people all the time. It's crazy. It's the opposite. I'd be so embarrassed to ever tell someone that they hurt my feelings. That'd be crazy to me. I would just hold that in, bottle it, be just throwing fucking knives at their face at home, just on the wall, just doing something.
Yeah.
Go fuck their girlfriend or something. I don't know what I would do, but I wouldn't be telling people that I got hurt.
And that they owed you an apology?
Well, it's not that they owe you an apology, but it just happens sometimes. It happens a lot in New York comedy where people get offended by roasting each other. And everyone's supposed to be all these tough clowns.
Yeah. What was the most recent time you had to apologize to a comedian?
I don't want to get into that.
Well, no. Not. I'm not asking you what was the experience. I mean, how recently? Like, when was the last?
Oh, like 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's probably why it's fresh in my mind, because then you're talking to other people and they're also going through something with other comics where they're all apologizing for this and that. You know, it's all like, I don't know. I guess people
never apologize to a comedian for anything ever.
I would be embarrassed to want one.
I'm just not doing it. I don't care what I do. I'm not doing it. I'm not apologizing.
Exactly. Fuck that apology shit.
Yeah.
No way.
Not in this. If you're a comedian, you would have. If you want my apology, you have to quit comedy for at least a year, and then I'll be like, all right, I believe they're no longer comedians. I'll apologize to that civilian. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It's like, I'm not. All right.
Nah, it just happens. But all right. So a thing. Has anyone ever apologized to a thing before? Like what?
Yeah, people be breaking walls and shit. People do
fixed
damage to property. You know, it's
No, I don't feel sorry.
like corporations. You know,
what? I apologize to a corporation.
businesses. People apologize to businesses.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Bank of America, for withdrawing too much money and the fees you charged me. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that I'm poor. I'm so sorry, Bank of America. You deserve better.
Hey, can you remember a thing that was apologized to? A non-person?
Was there like an apology to a tree? Didn't what's his name go out and like carve in a tree before he realized you shouldn't?
Oh, he got arrested for it?
Yeah, Del Calo.
Yeah.
You can't carve in trees?
Not where
he was in like a redwood forest or
Oh,
something.
this was
like
like
an
a
old
fucking
heritage tree.
2,000-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good apology.
That's
Right? That's
I
a good
guess.
apology to a thing, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll consider that a pelvis chakra unlocked. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
Ansley, keep it moving.
All right. Colum, how do you overcome disappointment?
I don't know. I think I'm pretty good at getting over that shit. I think. I think I just sort of I'm either angry or sad for a little bit, but it will pass pretty fast. It's just like, all right, it's done now. It is what it is. Let's keep moving. I think that's I'm pretty good at just moving past things like that. No matter what it is, I'll just go, all right, it's done now. You know, I hate when people drag out people again. They'll fucking dig on this shit and they'll let it consume their whole lives. It's done now.
Yeah.
How do we move on?
What?
Come on.
How did you develop that? Like, where did that come from?
I don't know. I think it's just, I don't know. I couldn't tell you exactly where it came from, but I wish I knew. But it's the facts.
Yeah.
This is the facts of life.
No, were you always like that?
I don't know if I was always like that. Probably. Because, yeah, I think I have always been like that. I tend to move on from things pretty fast. It's almost like an ADHD thing for us. Like, I move on. Because I even remember when I was a kid and my parents would piss me off somehow for something. I don't know what it was. Probably the most stupid thing where I wasn't able to eat candy for breakfast. But and I'd be like, I'm so angry at them, and then I'd do like a silent thing where it's like won't talk to them.
Yeah.
And then they'd just be like, hi, how are you? I was like, hey, I'm good. How are you? I'm like, damn it. I wish I was able, like, it's probably to a fault too, where it's like I don't hold grudges. I always forget.
Yeah.
Like if someone pisses me off somehow, I'll forget that I pissed off with them. And then a week will go by and we're friends again. Then I'm like, fuck, I'm supposed to be angry at you for that shit.
Yeah.
So, but, you know, I guess there's like a good and bad to both of those things. But just, I don't know, just move on. I think I'm just very good at compartmentalizing it. And the facts are that it's happened. I cheated on you. Let's just move on. We don't need to. Let's not dwell on this.
I'm not crying. Why are you crying?
Now you're gonna make me cry because you're crying.
That's fun.
Yeah. So it's like time to move on. Let's not dwell on this.
Yeah. So, well, this is something I like to ask everybody too. So, did you do like in high school or middle school, or I don't know how your schools are broken down in Ireland, but did you ever do sports or theater or any type of activity that you might have experienced disappointment in?
Sports. I played a lot of low-level sports my whole life. Like I was always like one of the best on my shitty league team. I was never like the highest of the highest people. Yeah, so I guess I always lost. Just been losing my whole life. What are you, like, when you're the youngest, I'm getting beat up by my older brother. I'm playing fucking cards with my sister. She's gonna fucking beat me too. It's like you're just constantly losing all the fucking time. So I think you just get accustomed to like, all right, whatever. Yeah, it doesn't matter that much.
That's a fact.
But if you're the oldest, maybe if you're the oldest sibling, you're kind of a bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And without getting too much into your other siblings, do you, like, from the outside looking in, does it seem like they have to deal with disappointment more often than you do?
They've had to deal with disappointment?
Like, they're like, I mean, they get frustrated by the like life's disappointment. You seem to be a pretty carefree guy.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it happened, it's over, we're moving on. Are your other siblings like that as well? Or do they dwell a little more?
I don't know. I guess my brother's probably more like me, I'd imagine. And then my sister, she's the eldest, so she's probably will dwell on it a bit longer. But it's hard. It's hard to imagine. It's hard to know. I also haven't like seen them in 7 years, so it's like, what are they like these days? I don't know. I see them for like 2 days every 4 years, type of thing. So you're like, hey, just catching up and you go, see you later.
Yeah.
So I don't know who the fuck they are. I don't know what they're like, but I don't know. Maybe there's a part of my whole family where it's just like, all right, we're life sucks. We're constantly losing.
Yeah.
Let's just keep going.
All right.
Yeah, I think my dad had a relatively tough childhood, but so did anyone from Dublin in like the 60s.
Yeah.
But he moved to England when he was like 14 or something to work, and there was a time like he was just living in this house on his own, and it was like, I think he had no money, and it was like a time where he went like a week without food or something. But he always tells us about that, and like, so even when our worst, whatever was going through our family with being poor or whatever, if we had like biscuits, so like cookies, he's always just like, listen, if you can afford some cookies at the end of the day, your life's not that bad. Trust me. And we're like, oh yeah, that's fair. Something like that with a pint of Guinness. No matter how bad it gets, if I can still go down to a pub and have a pint of Guinness, you know, life's not that bad. Life's not that bad.
That's fair.
Could be 15 years old in London starving. Literally starving.
Yeah. I mean, it's fair. It's also pretty close to rock bottom.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, like just the last thing you have is this pint of Guinness.
Yeah,
like this is your last hope for any happiness. That's right when rock bottom starts. I think. I don't know.
Well, and
I was kind of like raised in rock bottom.
Also, in my rock bottom though, it's like I can afford 10 Guinness. If I can afford one, that's tough. I'd rather have none.
Right? That's tough. That's rock tough. Bottom.
Yeah, I guess.
If you can afford 10, you still got it going.
Yeah, listen. If you can have some cookies at night, your life's all right. Yeah. that's all I know. That's all I'm telling you. Some cookies at night, life's not bad.
All right. So that was the pelvis chakra, right? That was
our gut chakra.
Oh yeah, we did get through the gut. All right.
Now we're to the heart chakra.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Colum, what have you learned from grief?
Grief?
Yes.
Nothing. I've never
I've never had grief. Shitty thing in my whole life.
No, I'm pretty blessed. Yeah. You know, all my grandparents that were alive when I was alive, they lived to like old enough age, so they all were like 90s or 80s. So they died like they were done.
Yeah.
All my siblings are alive. My parents are alive. I've never really had any friends. So it's like fine, life's fine. What's a grief like if something didn't happen?
I mean, grief can be any
Grief.
any
I think
sort
is
of-
just like a human death, right? What else could I grief?
Yeah, I mean, like loss of relationships.
I'll tell you. Yeah, another one is what they say, but like you get your kids, so you'll get your kids a dog, so it'll teach them about death or whatever.
Yeah.
So that they start to learn like death. But my parents wouldn't get like a dog or a cat, so we just had lots of shitty little animals that would die all the time. So we had hamsters, we had birds, we had turtles, we had fish, we had fucking loads of shit. But like, so now I just everything dies. I was 7 years old and I'm on my 10th pet. I'm calling them the same name because there's not enough names. I'm calling them Beavis and Butthead 2.
Would you just like throw them in the trash when they died, or do you like have like
Yeah,
little
sometimes
animal
you threw them in the
funerals?
trash. I remember having some little animal funerals, putting like a little turtle in a fucking like a matchbox, like a large matchbox, and burying it
Yeah.
out the back garden. And I'm pretty sure as soon as I walked inside, like a cat would just come down and gobble it up or whatever. But yeah, the turtles died, the fish died, the hamsters ate each other. I don't know what happened there. They like fought each other and they died. And real chaos out there. And then all the fish die all the time. Can't keep a fish alive. It's fucking impossible. I don't know what they're fucking doing. They're jumping out. They kill themselves sometimes. It's suicide out of boredom.
Dude, you're painting a really grim picture of Ireland.
Yeah.
It's like everyone's always losing, everything's always dying.
This is life, isn't it?
Yeah.
Everything's dying. We're all dying right now. We're all dying.
Well, I'm still living. I think I have like 2 more years before I start dying.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Because I've started dying. I've started dying. But in terms of grief, I've never really had to do much.
No, you've never been broken up with? You never loved anyone?
Yeah, I've had some breakups like that. Yeah, but then again, it's just like I've only ever had one really bad breakup where like it hurt me for like 24 hours, like really hurt me. No, like it hurt me, and it was barely even a breakup. It was just like some girl I was like kind of casually seeing, but I got real into her, and then she left, and I remember just being like, being upset, but like not for a whole long time. It's just like you're upset for a day, and then afterwards you just like, you get up, you shadow box, you go, fuck this shit. You just get up and go, fuck it, let's go get some horse, dude. Fuck this. Also, everyone else is already like, imagine, so even then I can stop and think about it and go, all right, I'm being a little bitch, I'm being a pussy. It's not like my wife died of cancer, so it's just some chick decided she didn't want to be with me because I'm worthless. Right? It's just some chick. So then you go, all right, you know what? If they can do it, I can do it. Let's go. That's sort of how I am. And then someone else will turn around and is like, I'm sad. I'm like, shut the fuck up being sad. Stop dwelling on it. We're all sad. Let's keep it moving, folks. Let's come on. I know. So what? You got shot on the way to work today. Is that an excuse for being late? You shouldn't have been late. We all have shit to do. Right?
Those are bold words spoken by someone who was so late to this podcast.
I didn't dwell on it though. You're dwelling on it. I got over the fact that I was late.
I was just making a correlation. I just thought that was a really interesting example.
There was a couple of things. First of all, there was 2 crashes on the way here. It fucked me up. But also, I gotta get into a better habit of like, I'll map out my route when it's like 2:00 in the morning and there's no traffic, and I'm like, fucking 2.5 hours, whatever. That's perfect. And then when I sit down to get in the car, it's like 3 hours. I'm like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
So that's a mistake that I'll have to learn.
Okay.
I apologize. Well, you got big shit going on.
You
What
got
are
an
you
apology.
I just got an apology out of Colum Tyrrell.
That was fake.
No, you can't take it back. In Pennsylvania, verbal contracts are legally binding.
Oh,
You
really?
cannot
No,
take it back.
I'm drunk. I can't
No,
sign.
that's a coffee.
No,
He is
there's
no
whiskey in
alcohol
that.
in it.
If you're drunk, you cannot actually legally
Dude,
sign
it's
a
too late.
contract.
I already put that apology in my heart.
Nice. In the court of my soul.
Yeah, it's too late, man.
That's fair.
It pumped me up, and I feel good now.
Great.
All right.
But I'm right about grieving. I've never lost that. Like, not in the grand scheme of things.
I feel like, as far as the context of his life, that was a heart chakra opened up.
Yeah.
Right?
All in context.
Yeah, all in context. We'll have to have him back here after he experiences real grief, I guess.
I'll let you know.
Yeah.
I'll ring you up the first. As soon as I get a phone call that my parents died or something, I'll ring you.
Yeah, you
Like,
can
let's
call
just-
me. You can absolutely call me. And I'm not just saying that. You can actually call me. If you call me, I wouldn't be like, what the fuck is he doing?
Yeah.
I don't know his parents. You know?
I said he could call anytime. No one actually does that. That's great.
Yeah. But yeah, that's definitely a heart chakra unlocked. Ansley, let's keep it moving.
All right, we're to the throat chakra now.
Okay.
What is a favorite lie that you have told? And if it's still a lie that's in rotation, you get extra karmic points.
Oh, I don't know. I lie all the time. I lie so much that I've often wondered though. I'm sure I've caught myself lying about a situation. Maybe it's like 10 years ago, where I'm just like, oh yeah, and then like, because you think the story's funnier, so you're like, oh, and then a dog fucking shit on the carpet, you know,
Yeah.
and then years later you're like telling the story, and the lie is in there, and you're like, wait, did I make that up at the time? So now I don't even know if it's a lie. I just remember it to be. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was just thinking about that the other day. I was like, how many lies am I telling now, thinking that they're true? But I lie all the time. You should always lie.
Did you take inventory? Did you
I couldn't.
Did you audit those stories that you're telling right now, or like?
I couldn't. I think there was one story. I was like, did that happen, or did I make that up that it happened? And then I was thinking, how many of these stories that I tell are completely just fabricated? And now, but I've convinced myself. I've told them so many times that because I'll definitely over exaggerate. It's the art of any good story. You want to over exaggerate. You got to sell the story. You want to be entertaining. You know. So, but then, how many times you tell that story before you just forget that you're lying?
I know you tell us.
I don't know. Yeah.
That's why we asked you the question. So do you have a story that's like that right now that you can think of?
I can't remember what that particular story was, but it was recently. But I like to lie all the time. I was like, oh, there was 2 crashes on the way here, blah blah blah. You know? whatever I need to do. But you should be lying. It's like a great. It's easy. Your life is easier. just tell people different things, and then your life will be better.
I used to lie. I mean,
You don't lie at all anymore, ever?
Not anymore. I mean, it has a lot of short-term gains,
Hmm.
you know. But like over the long term, it's a lot of work. I've found lying to be a lot of work.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like,
Well, not if at the very end you just go, I was lying. As long as you don't feel guilty about the lies, you should definitely be lying all the time.
well, it's just that sometimes the maintenance of a lie can impact your life in other places, like where you don't remember you told a lie,
That's tough.
and then now you're telling the truth because you're just like,
That's the tough one.
Yeah.
That's the problem, is you don't want to lie about something that in 10 years from now they'll remember the lie and you won't remember what the lie was.
yeah, it
You
was
know?
most of my lies. I didn't
Yeah.
remember most of my lies from day to day.
Yeah, that's the problem, the memory. You
Yeah.
gotta have good memory.
I'm just having a good time. I was just having a good time and just talking.
Just telling the truth.
No, I was lying back then. I was lying a lot, you know.
Yeah. About what?
I mean, everything and anything. Like it would be for
Yeah.
literally no reason at all.
Of course.
You know?
But how awesome would it be right now if I told you that I didn't have any siblings? How great would that be?
I think that would be
Would that not
pretty
be
good.
awesome for me to turn around and go, by the way, I just made all that up, because why not? None of this matters. We're all gonna die. We're all dying. By the way, my parents, my family killed each other in like a suicide thing, and that's why I left Ireland.
Yeah.
Now I just created this thing. That'd be funny. Right?
that would definitely be funny.
Would you feel hurt? Were you like, what the fuck?
No, you know, I don't. You know, it's just I'm just out here. I'm existing.
That's
You know
it.
what
There
I
you
mean?
go.
I'm not tethered to anybody else's truth, right?
Exactly.
Like I lied so much. I don't know if I trust or don't trust people.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
Yeah. What is the truth? What is that?
Yeah. So yeah,
The truth. It's my truth.
we had a good conversation.
If I believe it to be true, that is true.
Well, that's kind of the problem we're running into right now in America. People think that if they believe something hard enough that it becomes the truth.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, that's just it is the truth to you, I guess. Not to reality around you. What? Who cares a fuck about reality?
I guess that's
If I
the
think
greater point.
if I think my life is awesome, all right,
yeah.
and everyone else thinks my life sucks, it's like shallow Hal. You have a big fat girlfriend, but you think she's hot. Like, who would you rather be? So what's the truth? You know what I mean? Do you ever watch
Yeah.
Shallow Hal?
Yeah.
Where they tried to convince us that fat women were human. Oh, those are the days. Yeah, so that's the thing. It's like if you're living a lie but you believe it to be true, it doesn't matter. You know?
Yeah, I think you're the first one that expressed to be such a liar.
I'm not from Ireland.
With no example. Of
Yeah.
a lie.
I can't. It's so often. It's like you might as well just say, yeah.
I feel like he has too many
Yeah,
pots
you know
on the
what it is?
stove right now.
A lot of
Yeah.
the times people, and you know, sometimes I do the truth harshly because I'm trying to help people too. But a lot of the times I'll just be like people ask me to do my podcast all the time, and they'll never be able to do it because it's a waste of their time and my time. They're comedians that barely do comedy. They're like open micers, but they're like, hey, can I do it? Because I'm thinking of starting my own podcast. It's like, no, you're already dead. But I can't explain to them. I go, I'm not. I was like, why don't you start your own fucking podcast? Why don't you do that instead of trying to get on my fucking podcast?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like that's more beneficial to everyone. But rather than explaining to them that they will actually lower my numbers go down. If I'm solo on my podcast, then I have like a guest that nobody knows from anything because they never do the podcast circuit at all. My numbers will go down. It's so damn. It's worse. I'm doing a favor to someone I don't even like.
Yeah.
It's not like we're friends. If we're friends, we can do it. So, but rather than explain all that, I'll just go, yeah, I'm pretty busy right now. But
That's a lie, right?
Yeah.
You
I'm
got
lying.
one.
Yeah.
that's what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
But the good thing would be to do is like give me a phone call and then explain to you exactly why you cannot do my podcast.
Yeah.
And just as a business point of view, my numbers will go down. You're taking money away from my fucking kids. You're taking fucking food off my kids' plates.
He doesn't have any kids.
I know.
No.
I know.
Maybe I do.
Yeah. I get that a lot too. I mean, I will have people on that aren't necessarily known in any of the circuits or anything.
Yeah. I hear.
Only because like the nature of this podcast is it kind of gets binged.
Yeah.
So like the numbers will be small, but then for that low episode they'll grow kind of gradually.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
I understand.
It's
Well, you can only ask each other these questions so many times too, right? Or do you guys?
Oh, the two of us?
Yeah. Have you guys done it? Just asked each other these questions?
We never made it past.
What? You never did it?
No, we tried. We tried to do it, and we just get so sidetracked that we never got past.
That's great though, because
bad.
what you could do is instead of what I would say is instead of asking you ask a guest 5 questions, 6 questions, whatever it is, each one of you can just do one question for the whole thing, and obviously the two of you will just start talking and go on forever. That'd be great.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's your bonus shit right there.
Well, the Patreon is a little different.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
It's just yakking it up.
Well, no, it's different in the sense that it's different questions, but it's
they're different.
very similar.
Different cha-cha questions. What was
Yeah.
it? My cha-cha.
Chakra, your chakra
Open
question.
his
My
cha-cha.
chakra.
Let's open up Colum's cha-cha really quickly.
That's a very different podcast.
Yeah, I went over to the
know those-
interracial couple's house and they opened my cha-cha. You know how they do.
Those coochie. Is it? I really opened up my coochie.
Yeah, that's all right. So that's good. That's the throat chakra unlocked.
What was
Yeah.
the question again? I can't remember.
Favorite lie.
Favorite lie? Oh
Yeah.
I don't know if I have a favorite lie.
Yeah, he can't. He's like
Can't
he's like a
pick.
parent.
So
Yeah.
many.
He's like I can't choose.
No.
Oh, so then everyone's gonna learn my lie.
Well, you're afraid of these pussies? You afraid of these pussies to know your lie?
Yeah. Yes. I'm scared of the masses.
All right, Ansley, let's move it along.
All right, we're in the third eye chakra now.
Hell yeah.
So out of the physical into
So
the
please take this.
metaphysical.
Smoke some DMT, please.
Yeah.
And let us know what you see.
So what's something that you always thought of as separate, but you're learning that it's really the same?
Oh my God. What did I always think was separate? But it is the same. Fuck. I don't know. You know what I learned? I learned that all the races are the same.
Yeah.
I always thought the whites were
Ooh.
better. And
Wait,
then
so are you saying Black lives don't matter now? I don't know. You're kind of getting wishy-washy.
they
on this.
don't matter. They don't matter anymore in my life. I'll tell you that much.
So wait, how do you?
No.
How are you finding they're the same?
Oh no, I'm joking. I'm joking about the joke was that
Yeah,
I've come
it's
to
like-
terms of racism.
Yeah, I've noticed everybody can jump the same height.
Yeah, white people can dunk.
Yeah, if you look at it from the correct angle, everybody jumps the same height. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know what I thought was separate, though. It's actually the same. I don't know. There's probably just like everything, isn't it? Life is just life. You know, it's all like the same shit. You know, your career. Like we're all just the same thing, right? We're all just different parts of the same universe. If you really want to get into trippy shit, I guess we're all just vibrations. Time is limitless. All that type of shit. You know.
I feel like normally with guests, I would be pressing more for answers, but because you have an Irish accent, I'm like, this is how he is.
No, I feel like these questions are so big that it's like to have an answer straight away is crazy. If people have an answer for this before they sit down, that's psycho. That's psycho shit. Just be like, oh yeah, of course I've been thinking about that. I don't know. It's all the same. Government and big business are the same. That's that's not exactly profound, but that is the truth. What else is the same? I don't know. I guess I don't know. I have no idea what else is the same. What do you guys think?
Well, let me think. Can you think of any examples?
Yeah, please.
That people have given.
Oh geez.
Oh, one of the last ones that I remember is somebody said family and friends, like the relationships that you have with family and friends are the same.
The relationships with family.
Yeah, and I think the point that they were making, especially like when you get to a certain point in your life, they're just as important to your life.
Yeah.
You know.
I'd imagine. Yeah, I guess. But I wouldn't stick by a friend no matter what. But I'd probably stick by my family no matter what, because that's just like, it's just the blood. It's just the way it fucking is. You know, that's family. So you gotta stick by them.
Still, are you here to argue with other people's answers, Colum? Is that what's happening now?
I don't. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, who was that? Let's call him up and have him debate that with Colum right now. But yeah, I mean, so those are what else? Another example?
I don't know. I'm blanking now.
Yeah, see, so it's a fucking difficult question. You don't even remember other people's past questions. You had the answers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
well, I mean, it's because we try to forget about the last guest and focus on the
that's
person
good.
who's in the room now. We try to live as in the moment as possible.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Yeah,
Nice.
My
Nice
brain's
cover
like, it's
up
all
there.
shit.
Yeah,
It's all the same.
Great. What else? I don't know what's the same. I really don't know how to answer that question. Is it just, can we just say broadly, like all life is the same? We're all from the same fucking beginning. We're all going to the same place at the end.
I don't think I'm going to the same place as you, Colum.
Well, I'll be looking down on you. I'll be up there with the rest of the
Pussies.
pussies, exactly.
Yeah, I'll be down there with the fun people.
You'll be down there with all the people you bullied. All the,
Yeah.
all the mass shooter that you bullied into fucking...
Dude, I'm willing to, and people are disregarding this, but I'm willing to bet, like, in hell, like, Hitler is the fucking man. Like, you go to hell and he's like, yo, what's up? Come on in.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I feel like he's like the guy.
He's doing that.
Yeah.
He's just doing that little dance where they throw out their feet. You know, like that. Is that Russian? Is that him?
Yo, dude.
Hey,
He's having a good time.
Yeah, he's quite the spokesman. I'm sure he could fucking spin a yarn for sure.
Yeah. I feel like he's the person you'd want to know in hell, like right away.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's also, we'll go with that. We'll go with
Just say
yeah.
life is all.
life in general.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah,
It's all the same. Ansley,
All right.
close this out.
All right. Crown chakra. Last question. It's a two-parter.
Okay, great.
What is one thing that you can't give up and why? That's the first part. And what would giving it up mean?
Well, my first instinct was coffee. Definitely, I'm addicted to coffee, and I don't know if I'll ever not be addicted to coffee. Like highly, like every day. I don't know if it's the most, but I can't remember a day where I haven't had coffee.
Did you drink coffee in Ireland too?
Yeah, but not as much, barely as much. But over here, it just gets into the routine, you know. Especially if you're like at home and you got that big fucking like glass pot fucking brewing in the morning, and it's just sitting there all day. Yeah, I drink a lot of caffeine, and I think I tried to cut out coffee once, and then just found myself buying cans of Coke and shit. Just like, oh yeah, I'd love a soda, but it's pure my body's just screaming out for caffeine. They say it's one of the hardest things to kick. I don't know if that's true. I've never had to kick anything else. You know,
Sugar.
Yeah, sugar's
sugar.
pretty tough.
Oh,
Sugar's
yeah.
tough.
But how do you even? What do you have to just eat beef jerky and fucking carrots? Like what?
Yeah.
Like, wait, vegetables probably have sugar.
I mean, you got to lie to yourself a little bit because you know that when you eat carbs, it like goes into your body and processes as sugar.
Okay.
But it's like you're not taking it in as sugar.
Okay.
You know, so
Yeah.
you know, for me, I have to draw a line somewhere.
Yeah.
So if it has to come into my body and go through a process to turn into sugar, I don't count that as sugar,
Yeah.
right? So
I guess on a more profound level, as this is the podcast, I'd say, can you repeat the question exactly, please?
What's one thing you can't give up and why? And what would giving it up mean?
I would say I can't give up stand-up comedy, or even just, I guess, entertainment. So be it podcasting or whatever, you know. I couldn't give up that. And why is because I've just already just put so much work into it. That's why I wouldn't. Like at this point, it's like, yeah, I couldn't. My life is worse off than had I never pursued any of it. You know, relationships, money, all sorts of stuff. I'm too broke and skillless to go back to a real boring fucking keeping up with the Jeffersons life. And I purposely also did that by saying horrible stuff online. So that it was like, plan B is gone.
like,
I have to be the
you
edge lord.
sewed yourself into podcasting and entertainment.
Yeah, I've
No
done it. I go,
parachute.
yeah, fucking try hire me now.
Yeah.
I couldn't even get a job if I wanted to. But you know, so that's probably why I've just given so much. And then if what it would mean if I was to stop pursuing this, I guess I would feel like I've got nothing, and it was all just a waste of time. At least I tried, you know. At least I'm not some fucking pussy who didn't try. So there you go. Again, I'm already just dealing with the grief. I'm just moving on. Oh, fucking cry me a
Just
river.
moved on from your dream, dude.
I know. It doesn't take much for me to just like, oh, shut up. Yeah, so there you go. That's how I can't. That's literally what I'm talking about. It's like, but again, at least I'm not some pussy who didn't try. But that I'd feel like a huge failure if this didn't work out. But I don't think it's not. I don't think it's not going to work out. I think it's inevitable. That's just my mindset. You know, I'll just keep figuring it out bit by bit. You know.
Yeah. Which you already have, you know, with this tour that you and Dad Meat are doing, this Bad Meat tour. I think I'm really impressed with that. I'm impressed that you guys kind of, I mean, you put all that together. You're finding all these venues.
Yeah,
and you're doing a lot of that
the
legwork.
three of us, you know, I guess we all just, we're all friends with Tommy Pope, and so he introduced us all, and then we all hit it off, and then our podcasts were like relatively the same type of size, growing, where we were able to bring in some a different audience together, and the guys are great. You know, we all have our little skills, so yeah, I'm having a lot of fun on tour with those guys. So that's a relatively that's relatively successful.
Yeah.
In my life, I'm still an absolute loser. That's like the lowest of the lowest and the lowest. But I'll probably never be happy, to be honest, with anything. But that's just the way I am.
Good to know. Good to know.
I'm sure, honestly, I know the way I am. I'd probably sell out fucking 10 nights at the Garden, and I'd walk off stage going, fuck. I should be playing 2 nights. I should be playing 20 nights.
Yeah.
You know? That's just the way I am, no matter what.
That's fair.
But also, but here's the thing is that this is how I've trained myself with comedy, and I kind of hope to do it with life, is like to have it it's more of a continuous thing. Sure, you're supposed to sit down and celebrate the little wins every now and again. Like I got some good news the other day with comedy. It just means nothing really, but it's just like a little win. But at the same time, I don't celebrate them too much because I don't dwell on the losses either. You can't have one and not the other. You got to have a kind of like, so if you bomb on stage, you shouldn't dwell on it. It's like you bombed. But if you crush, you also shouldn't be like fucking celebrating it too much. You kind of got to be, it's like, this is the thing. That's and that's why that's kind of how I am in life too. It's kind of like, all right, when you're down, don't dwell on it too much. When things are going great, don't enjoy it.
Yeah.
Well, it's never the end point too, right? It's all part of the journey.
Exactly.
So it's like, you never like.
Speaking of which, I feel like you do a good job of that with your jiu-jitsu competitions.
Yeah.
Like
I really relate to that.
Yeah,
like,
when you win, you're never jumping up and down. It's just very respectful. It's like the same.
Yeah.
It's like the destination. It's the journey kind of, not the destination, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess like the only difference is like the corners of your mouth like are either slightly up or slightly down.
Yeah. Gotta zoom in.
Yeah, she's ecstatic.
Yeah.
I'm just-
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, Colum, that's it. What do you think, man?
I had a lot of fun. It was
Yeah.
great. Yeah, a lot of questions that I've never had to think about before, and a very unique vibe. No one's never been talked about my chakra.
Yeah.
My what was it again? Chakra.
Chakras.
Chakra.
Chakras.
And what is that? Buddhism or something? What is that? Hindu? What's that? Where'd that come from? Just a yoga term?
Yeah, it's in Buddhism.
It's
Yeah.
in Buddhism.
Yeah.
It's in a lot of things.
Yeah, it's in a lot of things. Like a lot of the now I'm going to sound like a retard. The Eastern religions is what they would be considered, right?
Yeah.
'Cause we're Western.
East
Coast.
Yeah. So a lot of the Eastern religions have chakras. And Ansley, just explain real quick what chakras are.
They're energy centers throughout your body, and so they're connected to so like the vibrations and all that stuff, and they're connected to your emotions and your physical well-being as well. So if like if they get gunked up in those locations, you can have health issues and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, because it's like if you're worried, if you feel guilty about something that you did as a kid, you can end up getting fucking, what was it, like hip cancer or something? Is that what you're
Like
saying?
ulcers.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
stomach ulcers.
Yeah.
If you tell too many lies, you get throat cancer.
All leads
ulcers.
to cancer.
all
Just ulcers?
It's just ulcers, which are curable. They're all curable.
All right, well then.
Yeah, lie your ass off. So
So how did I get herpes?
yeah,
What was that from?
yeah. And then so we're gonna we'll jump into the Patreon really quick. You have time to stick around for
Yeah,
Patreon
yeah.
for a little bit, and then we'll make sure you leave in time.
Yeah,
For
great.
your show. But yeah, so hop into the Patreon. The Patreon is only $1. Gets all of our exclusive content, which is the counter to this podcast, which is 2 Jack Bros After Dark. And we also do a lot of commentary on Ansley's jiu-jitsu matches, and we got a whole bunch coming up that we're going to be able to do all at once. It's going to be pretty exciting. And any comedy, any stand-up comedy stuff that we also put in there, just $1, all of our content. And also check out the Colum Tyrrell podcast.
Yes.
Right? And you
Yes.
have a Patreon too, right?
I've got a Patreon. Yeah, Patreon/Colum Tyrrell. But just check out the podcast. Keep supporting these guys.
Oh, hell
Doing
yeah.
that.
Thank you.
My Patreon's so big, I don't need any more. But thank you. And come to catch the tour if you want. With that.
Definitely catch those guys
Thank
on
you.
tour. All right. Thank you guys so much. We love you guys, and we're out.
See ya.
To Jack Rose.